Welcome to Rad Chat. I'm your host, Brandy Lynn, and today my special guest is CAROLYN Tomecko, who is a hairstylist, makeup artist. She does freelance for bridal work, etc. She's going to get all into it. But yeah, thank you. Welcome to our first Zoom.
Thank you for having me. If I keep looking at myself, just bring me back here.
Oh my god, I know, I feel the same way. I want to
just I'm looking at you, but I'm not sure if it's picking up where I'm looking.
I know, right?
So
it's such a weird thing, but kind of cool as well.
Right.
Also, we should say that you are based in New Jersey, which I'm originally from.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I'm originally from New Jersey. That's how. So let's just kind of go into the reason I got you on the podcast is because I know Danielle, who's one of your clients.
Yes.
And she had referred me to you and told me to reach out. She said you're a really rad chick. So that I know her because I used to live in New Jersey.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, Danny's awesome. She's super, super cool. I literally was just talking to her because she was telling me how she's been making all these great soups, and I'm like, please give me all of the soup because it's
God, yes.
getting chilly. It's the fall season here, so I was like, give me the soup. And she sent me a bunch of recipes,
that's awesome.
And I was like, I can't cook, so I don't know why you're sending me these recipes. I'll get my friends to cook for me.
Right. That's so funny. I know, I love soup, and I feel like I'm so jealous because it's still pretty hot in California right now, so I kind of
California. You guys are on fire.
Oh my god, we're on fire. There's ash falling from the sky.
Didn't you guys just have an equator? I'm not an equator. We all have an equator.
Oh my god, we did just have an earthquake, and it was super crazy because it was funny because I had a really long weekend, and then all of a sudden we're trying to go to bed. It's super late, and then my boyfriend had fell asleep, and I'm just laying there on my phone. Mm-hmm. And then the freaking bed is shaking, and earthquakes are so weird to me because I honestly haven't really felt that many. So then all of a sudden, I've been out here since I was 18. I moved out here in 2013. So 7-8 years.
A good chunk of time where earthquakes.
I've been here for a while,
but ish normal.
Yeah, so it's a normalist thing, but when you feel it and you see the room shaking, your bed shaking, and then woke my boyfriend up, I was like, holy shit, there's an earthquake.
Yeah. There was an earthquake here.
What was that?
There was an earthquake here not that long ago, which is super bizarre for us.
Yeah.
We don't ever get earthquakes. And my mom texted me at 3 a.m, which I don't go to bed until at least 1:30. So I was awake. And my mom lives about an hour south of me. And she was like, there's an earthquake. And I was like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. Go back to bed. I was like, okay. I didn't feel it. Some of my clients were like, yeah, did you feel the earthquake? And I was like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah,
that's so funny. Well, actually, now bringing it back, now that you mentioned your clients, let's get into kind of how you got into hair and makeup. Let's just start there. Obviously, I see your beautiful green hair and on Instagram. It's is it I guess it's more so teal.
It's green and black currently. I took the plunge. My blurry. There we go. I'm in Jurassic Park, guys. No. My hair is currently green and black. It was green and teal. I mean, I've had every hair color under the sun, but I took the plunge of going back to black hair with some green. But it was a toss up for me as what career wise. I kind of wanted to go either in the music field or hair of some sort. I was always the friend doing everyone's hair, going to Rite Aid and buying shitty box dye and being all right, let's do your hair. Or I would always do my hair or whatever. And then I actually went to a vocational school in my sophomore year of high school for cosmetology.
Nice. Oh, nice.
And I had gone my sophomore year, and I think I lasted maybe 5 days, and the girls were really, really mean to me. And with the exception of a few, so I don't want to some of them were really nice, and then others were mean. And I think I was just having an adjustment of I had already like had friends my freshman year of like my high school, and then going to like a whole new school my sophomore year, like they were already all friends with each other, and I was like,
Oh, okay.
not.
So it's a little like that awkward, like,
Right.
my friends group.
Right, exactly. And like it kind of totally shifted my feelings on like the beauty industry in general. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do hair. I don't want to do any of this. So I dropped out, went back to my high school. My mom told me that I would never succeed in life, and she was very upset with me. And yeah, because my sister was going to the same vocational school for culinary arts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she was very disappointed in me. So then I went back to my regular high school. I worked in retail for a really long time. I worked.
We've all been there.
Right.
Retail.
Soccer, I worked at Hot Topic for like 4 years.
Oh my God, so did I.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Oh my God. Okay, after we'll have a segment of Hot Topic.
Yeah, we'll discuss Hot Topic. So I worked at Hot Topic for a really long time. And then I worked at this like stupid kiosk selling like body jewelry and like Zippo lighters and like belt buckles.
Oh, okay.
It was, like the weirdest thing, but I worked there for like 6 years, and I think I was like 20, and I was like, you know, I don't really know what I want to do. Like, where am I going? And at the time I was dating this guy who was kind of the worst person in the entire planet. And he like totally deterred me from wanting to do hair. And I also wanted to do something with music. And he kind of deterred me from doing both. He was like, you're never going to make money in the music industry, da, 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 da. And like,
so not very supportive.
No, not supportive at all. And then he was like, you're never going to be anything in hair because there's so many hairdressers, and you're just going to be another hairdresser. And I was like, you're the worst. And
that's,
so
I mean, that's so sucky.
Yeah. So, as far as like music goes, it's kind of like cheesy, but so I played clarinet when I was like from like 5th grade to like 8th grade, and then I stopped. I was like in the school band and everything, and I stopped playing when I got to high school because I was like, I don't want to be in the band in high school.
Why? I feel like, you know, it's so funny. Like, I don't mean to interrupt, but while you said that, I feel like it's so funny because I feel like my high school, if you were in the band, it was like a not cool thing. But then here I am, like you, like super into music and concerts and going to concerts, working at Hot Topic. So it's like, why was that not cool in high school? Like, I was going to see bands. What's different? I don't know. So it's
right. No, I don't. Yeah, so I stopped playing in the band, but I still, all of my electives were, I took music appreciation, music theory 1, 2, and then I took piano. So like
nice.
wanted to like, I was like, oh, I would really love to like do something like be in a fucking orchestra. That would be so sick, but like kind of super unrealistic. But so then eventually when I hit like 20 or so, I was like, you know what? I don't know how much I'm allowed to curse on your podcast because
no, go ahead. Yeah. It goes on YouTube or Spotify, whatever.
I was like, fuck it. You know what? Like, all my friends have always said, like, you're great with makeup, you're great with hair, your hair always looks good, you do good hair, like da 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 whatever. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go to hair school. So I went to a place called Artistic Academy, which maybe you know. I'm not sure where you're from. Like,
I was from Parsippany, so I don't know.
Oh, that's literally where I am right now.
Oh, really? How funny. Where in Parsippany are you? Or like Lake Hiawatha, Lake Parsippany?
I'm closer on like the Lake Parsippany side.
Okay. Yeah, I was more like, where I grew up was really like end of like almost Wayne. Like, have you heard of Rutgers Village?
Yeah. Yes.
So I grew up there, and then my mom moved to Lake Hiawatha, so she currently lives there.
Okay, Rutgers Village is like right around the corner.
Yeah.
I live in
so many crazy things happen there.
Colonial Heights. If anybody wants to find me, no.
Hey, hit her up.
Yeah, no. But so yeah, no, I just kind of said fuck it. I was like, I'm going to beauty school, and I had to do part-time. So for anybody that doesn't know, beauty school is based on hours of education, not like semesters rather. So you have to complete in New Jersey 1,200 hours of schooling. So it's a matter of like, there was the full-time, which was like, I think 10 months you could graduate if you literally went every single day.
Yeah.
And didn't miss any classes. Or part-time was like about 2 years. I think it was like 18 months, they said. And so I had to work. So I would work 10 to 5 at my little kiosk job selling belly rings to like dummies. And then I would go to school from 6 to 10. And that was Monday through Thursday. I would do like that routine. I did it for like 2 years. And I loved beauty school. I like genuinely loved going to school. Like there are some people that are like, I hated going there, da 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 da. There were so many rules, and I thoroughly loved going to beauty school.
Oh,
And then
that's
I
so
got
dope.
and then I got my first job, which I'm still at. I think like maybe a month or two after I graduated beauty school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. That's like super rare, I feel like, too, because just like stigma that I know, I've never worked in a salon, but I heard salon jobs are like hard to get because everyone like needs their own little booth.
So in New Jersey, booth rental is illegal. So
Oh,
you don't rent a booth or anything like that. You just work for a salon and it's commission based. Most of it,
oh,
like I want to say 9 times out of 10, it's commission based. But yeah, no, there's no booth rental allowed in New Jersey. I'm sure that there's some people that do it, but like it's illegal. So yeah, I work for it's a small salon. It's called Salon Botanique. We are
we'll tag it somewhere in this video.
Yes. It's a eco-friendly salon. So
Oh, nice.
we are very much like, you know, kind of save the planet and use like all ammonia-free products, all sulfate-free products, paraben-free products. We try to find the most natural and plant-based products that we can.
Oh, wow, that's really awesome.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. Like you don't like when you walk into the salon, like you don't smell. It doesn't smell like a salon.
The
you walk in and you're
chemicals.
like, this is just a building. And I work in a big old house that is it just got transitioned into a salon, which is also super cool. It's not like a strip mall kind of salon.
Oh,
so
that's super
it's
dope.
yeah, it's super unique. It has its own kind of flair to it. So it's really cool. I like working there.
Nice. How did you find that job if it's not kind of like in a little strip mall or something?
A friend of mine worked there and she was like, we're hiring assistants. Come on in. And I met with my boss and I remember it was like, I think it was August of like 2013 and it was so hot outside and like it was obviously my first interview. So like all of my previous jobs, I never had like a dress code. I didn't have to hide my tattoos. I didn't have to like take out piercings or, you know, anything of that nature. And obviously it's the beauty industry. So like, you know, things are definitely more flexible, but I didn't know. So I went in wearing this like long sleeve shirt. It's the middle of August. I'm like sweating. I'm wearing heels, which like I'm 5'9", 5'10". So like I was already like now I'm like 6 something, like walking and looking super professional, like not at all what I ever look like. And we walked upstairs into like, we used to have a spa, but we don't anymore. So we were in the spa area and the air conditioning wasn't working. And I was just like, oh, sorry. And I was like, it's totally fine. And I'm like sweating. And she just asked me a couple of questions and she was like, okay, you're hired. You can come in on Tuesday. And I was like, oh, okay, sick.
That's super awesome. I bet that was so motivating, especially since you said that in high school when you tried to get into it, it wasn't as like appealing at that time. You didn't really have support, it seems. To then go through the system again and then book a job like that quick, dude, that is so like fate almost. Like
yeah, it was really, really like, and I don't deal well with change. So I was like, oh, what? Now I have to like tell my kiosk job that I can't work certain days. Like so I was balancing both. I was still working at both jobs for a while. But no, it was super awesome. I like got the job right away and it was definitely it was hard at first because it was my first salon job. I didn't know what the hell to expect. Like they kind of prep you in beauty school for it, but like not really. Like they're just like,
what is the life like if you can like describe it, like when you're first being an assistant to then when you're like more pro, I guess. I don't know the technical. So
every salon operates a little bit differently, but the general rule of thumb is like you have to be an assistant for probably about a year to 2 years. And they did always say in beauty school, if you get hired as a stylist right out of school, don't work there, because you won't get the education that you need. You won't get the skills of like learning how to multitask, learning how to formulate color properly. You won't, like, there's so much you're missing out on as far as like education. So if you literally go to a salon and they're like, yeah, we're going to put you on the floor as a stylist, like instantly, you should like run the other way.
Okay, got you. They're like setting you up to fail almost.
Yeah, because you're kind of thrown to the wolves. Like in beauty school, you learn very, very basic things, and you pretty much learn how to pass your sleep board exam, you know, to get your license. So at my job, our like job per se is to like shampoo clients. We apply like glazes and toners, assist the stylist, meaning like, you know, if they need more color, we mix more color. We, you know, have to like watch all the timers and see who's going off at one time and see who's watching this person at this time and making sure all the clients are set up and making sure they have their coffee and their water and whatever they need, and just like literally kind of running around with the chicken, like with its head cut off, like making sure the dishes are done, making sure the laundry's up to this, and making sure we have towels. And one of my, when I first started there, me and my coworker, Sean, we used to make a joke because we assisted at the same time. And we used to say not having towels in a salon is like not having French fries at McDonald's. Oh. So like, yeah. So
French fries are so good at McDonald's, and for some reason the Coke, so like, why is the Coke so good at McDonald's?
Literally, I don't, so I'm a vegetarian, so but like I will go to McDonald's for their French fries. And one of my friends was like, you know, they cook them in beef fat. So it's like, and I was like, literally, some things are just better left unsaid. Okay. Let me enjoy.
He's like trying to get you on it. Like,
yeah.
Don't take my fries away from me.
Yeah. I was like, don't take my fries from me. Okay. But yeah, so it's very, it was very important. And, we always used to joke with each other. We'd be like, we're out of French fries. We got to get on that right now. And like, so that the stylist wouldn't know that we were low on like clean towels, we would just kind of like run and get more towels.
Oh, that's actually really clever. Like not really make the person in the chair like feel panicked or like awkward. That's actually a really cool idea.
Yeah, so we had our own little code of like everything, so that the stylists wouldn't freak out and be like, "Where are the towels?" And we'd be like, "They're coming."
Yeah.
So, cool. Yeah, no. So I assisted for about 1.5 years. I did have a little bit of a temper tantrum and quit my job at this salon, and I went and I worked for another salon for maybe 2 months, and so the salon that I went to go work for was a previous educator of mine that was at my beauty school. Okay. And she was great and she was fantastic, and she was just starting off in her business. And I thought it would be a really good move for me, but it was too far and it wasn't as busy as what I was used to. So our salon that I work at currently is slammed all the time. Like I was used to like moving and grooving, doing things like, and I went from that to traveling, like from traveling to like 20 minutes to work to about an hour to work. To work, and like I wasn't really making any money. I wasn't getting, you know, what I had wanted out of the job. And I knew that she would succeed as a business owner. I just at that time couldn't kind of wait for that flourish. So, you know what I mean? So, and she's doing amazing right now. Like she has moved location. She's doing fantastic. And I'm like super, super happy for her. And, you know, if we ever connect and collab on something, that would be awesome. There's no hard feelings like whatsoever. Yeah. And I'm super proud of her, but I just was like, it's just not working for me. Yeah. So I texted one of the stylists that I had worked with at my old salon. And I was like, hey, miss ya. And she was like, do you want to come back and assist? And I was like, yes, please. And so I got the job back like pretty immediately. And the grass is not always greener on the other side, but I feel like that was a very eye-opening thing. I had to try something different in a different place. And then I went back.
I think that's important too, to want to try something different somewhere else, because totally. Like you say, you don't really know what's on the other side, and then you'll maybe kick yourself for not trying it, and then maybe you'll learn a lesson from trying it, which it seemed you did. But also too, It also shows that you made really good connection at the salon you're currently at, that you left and they allowed you to come back. So one, it shows the kind of person you are. Like normally people leave a job, it's very rare at times they're allowed to come back. So it just also shows the type of person you are, the type of hairstylist you are, that like they would want you like, hey, yeah, like definitely come back. Because a lot of people understand that everyone has to do what's best for them. So if it's like an opportunity to make more money somewhere, if it's just more experience, or just maybe it's closer to where you live, this one was farther when you live. But you know, like in general sense, it's always really, really good to try your options. So I think then it brought you back to where you're supposed to be.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And it was definitely a good move. And so I continued to assist when I came back, and then slowly but surely, the way that my salon operates at least is, so you just kind of bring your friends in, like you're like, okay, like do their hair for free. Let's see where you're at, kind of assess, like, can you do a single process without like messing it up? Can you do highlights without messing it up? How are your haircuts? And we had in-salon education all the time, which was really great. We had other education, like from other companies coming in and, educating us. So we had constant, education, which was really great. And then I just started out like one day a week as a stylist. And then the other days I would still assist. So I wasn't like immediately like thrown without like, so I could gradually kind of make my way. And then, it just went from working like one day to then like 2 days on the floor as a stylist to then like 3. And then my boss was like, all right, that's it. We're pulling the plug. You're on the floor full time. And I was like, what? I'm so scared.
How was the feeling after you were done being scared about it?
I'm still scared sometimes.
Hey, that's
no,
okay.
It took a long time for me to feel confident as a hairdresser, just because, like I said, I'm kind of like a creature of habit. So having new clients and learning how to talk to new people and have a good consultation and like, making sure that everyone's happy. I will say that like going back to working in retail definitely helped, because you got to know how to make everyone happy, even if you don't want to get that like that customer that comes in that's real pissed off that they can't get that return that was from 2011 and it is now 2013 and we don't even have that item in stock anymore. So
dude,
that definitely warmed me up to oh my god, it was ridiculous, but that definitely warmed me up to figuring out how to talk to people. And then the stylists that I work with are all really great as far as like helping. We all still help each other. Like I'll have a client come in, or someone else will have a client come in, and then they want to change their color up or something, and I'll be like, hey, like I think I'm gonna do like a 6.0 with like maybe a little bit of 5.7 with 20 volume in her formula, and they'll kind of like peep over and look at them and be like, yeah, that'll be good. I think that's
that's cool.
Yeah. And like, it's just super supportive. Like my clientele was, I think, really appreciative of the fact too, that I was always very transparent with them in the sense of like, listen, I'm hearing what you're saying, but do you care or mind if I have like my boss come over or a senior stylist come over and just kind of assess, and we can make sure that like, I am going to give you the right, service, color, cut, whatever it is. And they're like, no, I don't care. Bring them on over. And so
that's awesome.
I think that was super helpful, and like having my boss just like kind of like give me little nudges here and there too was really helpful. And I find that just being transparent with your client, whether it's like a color client, a haircutting client, if you're working with a bride, if you're working with a model on set, on a photo shoot, like always just being super like, hey, this might not work, or it might work, or it's gonna work. They find that to be more appreciative. They're more appreciative of it. And then they look at you.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine. I imagine that too, because I feel like people know when it's bullshit. Like if you.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
because everyone has in their head what they want. But I feel like, especially because we're both Jersey girls and coming from the East Coast, we're just really straight up in general there, that it's like, I don't want the bullshit. Like if you think this haircut's gonna look bad, like please tell me, because that's my biggest thing with like going to salons was like, if I wanted just a trim and they fucking went full on cut my hair, I was like traumatized. I was like, oh my god, that's not what I wanted. But then if someone came and was like, girl, your hair is so dead, just cut a little more, then I'm like, you feel better about it, you know?
Right. You're like, okay, trust your judgment. It's the same thing with like any, I mean, I guess like to me, like art form, right? Like, whenever I get a tattoo, I obviously like, I'll have an idea of what I want, but I'm like, you're the artist. So like, however you think this is going to look good, and tell me if my idea sucks, because I don't want a shitty tattoo.
I feel the same way. I mean, I have to have a lot of tattoos as well.
Right. I'm like, you're the, I've seen your page. I'm like, oh, girl, she's got some good
tattoos. Thank you. Likewise to you.
Thanks. But so, I kind of view it that way too. I'm like, you're the artist, like you do you, I don't care. This is the general concept, do whatever. And my clients, they also kind of view me, they're like, listen, I don't, just make me look pretty. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I feel like especially when they come to you for makeup, that's like 9 out of 10 times what women want. Just like make me look pretty.
Doing makeup is very, it can be very stressful. I feel like doing makeup sometimes is more stressful than doing hair, because it's your face, right? Like that's
more on display.
Just boop. That's what you look at. That's what you're seeing. That's what the first thing I think most of the human race notices, is what your face looks like.
Yeah, it's true.
So doing makeup can be very stressful, especially on a bride.
I was gonna say, so kind of before we go into the makeup section, for hair, what is like your favorite thing about it? Or like, because when I was growing up, as a Hot Topic girl, as we both are too, and also I feel like you're kind of like me, who was like an emo girl. So I feel like growing up, right, exactly. So like growing up, I was the girl that like went to Sally's, bought the shitty hair dye, and like bleached my like own hair and put random colors in it. And then I feel like when you get older and you like are exposed to like going to actual salon, and then they're like talking these formulas, I'm like, holy shit, this shit is so like complex, like all these different chemical combinations. How is it to learn all that? Did you know going into hair and it was going to be so technical like that?
No. Straight up no. So I have been doing my own hair since I was like 12. Like I still do my own hair because I'm super neurotic and I won't let anybody color my hair. I think I let one of my friends color my hair like 2 years ago and she did a fantastic job, but she was so funny. She was like, and she's a phenomenal hairdresser. She's a great friend of mine. She lives out in California now. She works at these, wonderful salons. And she was the only other person I like trusted to even like color my hair. And she was like, okay, at any moment in time, you can micromanage the hell out of me. And I was like, I don't want to. I want to just try and be a client. And she was like, I won't get offended. But so, I was doing all this stuff at home. And then when I went to beauty school, I was like, oh, fuck.
It's so technical.
I've been doing it so wrong this whole time.
That's
so that was definitely an eye-opener, for sure. I was like, oh, there's color theory and there's chemical compounds and your hair is made up of amino acids and your hair is made up of proteins and you can snap it off really easily if you don't do it right. So I really actually loved getting into like the technicality, I guess you could say, and like chemical and like color theory of hair. And that's one of my favorite things to do is color and
nice.
Really and styling too, because I feel like styling sorry, the cat's here.
Oh, you're okay.
And styling the hair is like its own art form, and then coloring the hair is also its own art form. So like I love being able to like break it down to like my assistants and like, tell them like, hey, because they'll ask questions and I always want to give them more, as much information as all of my other stylists do. So it's like,
I'm sure you've been there before too, like
totally.
As an assistant.
Yeah, I would ask so many questions to the point where I think one of my stylists, and she knows who she is, she would get so irritated with me. I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? What's the point? Why are you doing this? Why are you making this? She's like, Carolyn. I was like,
it's funny. Right.
But I love understanding color theory and understanding why when the hair is yellow, why can't I just put this color on top of it? Because it's not going to give the same result if I tone that hair to a more, you know, whiter shade, we'll say, just to like for layman's terms. Why it'll come out a different color is if I just put straight out like the yellow onto like green, as if I do something different. And all through that, I've kind of figured it out. Like one of my really good friends, Helen, she is a champ. She has been one of my test dummies for everything. And she has been, I've taken her hair from like dark maroon to like platinum, back to browns, back to pinks, to this, to that. And like, I learned so much just from doing her hair. So thank you.
But that's cool, because I feel like for me personally, like hands-on experience was always my like go-to. Like
totally.
I was a visual learner, like hands-on learning. Like you can take the class and be in school and go through the tests, but there's nothing better than like actually doing it. So I'm sure that's probably why it's like way
absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, you don't really know anything about hair until you start doing it.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh yeah, like I remember in my cosmetology book, it tells me this, that, and this. But then you're like, of the clients in front of you, you're like, fuck, I don't know what a level 4 is. I'm so confused. And then you're like, what am I even doing here? So it definitely is, just doing it is like fucking up. I tell my, like the assistants all the time, like, you're going to fuck up hair and it's fine.
Yeah.
You can fix it. I mean, unless you shave their head, then buy them a wig.
You can't really go from there.
So, yeah. But it's hair. You can fix it. And your friends are like your best test dummies. Like, just, they're still going to be friends with you. Maybe. I don't know. But
you really fuck it up.
Yeah. Like, try not to melt their hair off.
Yeah.
Possible,
I feel like you always hear those horror stories where someone wanted they go and get their hair one color, like blonde or something, and they come out and it's like orange. I always thought like that was like a thing for TV, but like, can that
That's
actually
a real
happen?
life thing. That's like a real thing. And I always try and tell, so I had silver hair for like maybe like 2 years, and that was like right off the peak of like, you know, Game of Thrones with like, and everybody wanted that like Daenerys Targaryen white.
It is a really pretty shade, but I'm sure it's hard to maintain.
It is so hard to maintain, and it is so hard to achieve. And I would have clients coming in all the time, be like, I want your hair. And I'm like, my hair used to be this long. And now, and then at this, I had to cut it super short because I bleached it to the nines, and it was very sad. And that's the reality of it. And your hair is going to go through these weird orange stages and yellow stages, and it's going to be weird to get you to that color. So I would always be like, this color.
That's true. I feel like it's kind of good to bring that up as well. Like, for anyone watching or listening, and you know, women, men, but I guess we're women, so it kind of focus on long, like, I mean, hey, men have long hair too, but what would you say is like good healthcare tips for your hair, or things that maybe people aren't aware of? Like, personally for me, I hate cutting my hair. I like to have my hair longer than my little armpit fat I have here. So I like barely want to cut it, but I know like for instance, right now, my hair is so hard at the ends that I'm like, oh shit, like I need to cut my ends off. But like, is there any like little tips or like things people don't think about or really are aware of that you as a hairstylist would really be professional about knowing?
So like, there's a couple of like things to like debunk, right? So like everybody's like, oh, if I cut my hair, it's gonna grow more. It's not. What that really means is like, so how you're saying like your ends feel a little bit like crunchy, so really just getting like regular trims is going to keep your hair in good health. So like, it's not going to make your hair grow faster. The way that it works is, so like you have these like dry split ends, and what's going to happen is your hair is just going to like keep splitting and splitting and splitting and going up the hair shaft, and then you're gonna eventually like feel like your hair is not growing because it's just breaking off. So like getting regular trims is a really good thing to do, even if it's just like half an inch. Just a regular trim every like 2 to 3 months is a great thing to do. There's so many like DIY like hair masks and stuff. I mean, while some of them definitely probably have some pretty good properties to them, really honestly, I will say like spending the extra couple of dollars on good quality hair masks you know, I worked as an educator for a brand called Kevin Murphy for about 4-ish years, and their products are great. They have it's all natural based products. They have great hair masks. They have a mask for really dehydrated hair. They have a mask for hair that's, you know, been compromised as far as like, you know, chemical services like bleaching and things like that. And then they have, you know, one for like just finer hair that just needs a little bit of extra strength and backbone to the hair, really. So like spending that little extra money goes a long way just to give good hair care. So I would say, you know, everything is different for everybody. I will say not washing your hair every day is beneficial to the scalp, but also if you need to wash it, go ahead and wash your hair. I don't wash my hair very often.
Okay. Well, do you think that's because of the color you have in it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. If I didn't have like colored hair, like I would wash it more regularly, but I'm a disgusting human being and I'll go like 2.5 weeks without washing my hair. And I
feel like the lazy part of me would want to do that, but my hair is so thin that it just looks greasy. If I don't wash my hair every day, it'll be like disgusting.
The thing about that is like, and I'm trying not to get like too scientific and like technical.
No, but that's good, I feel like, because that's like your expertise, you know?
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, I guess.
Thanks for compliments.
Like, I'm really bad at taking compliments.
I know. Me too. I'm the same
not
way.
good at it. So if you wash your hair every day, all you're doing is like stripping the oils from your hair, right? So your scalp is going to tell itself, okay, I don't have any oils left. I need to produce more oils. So it's going to keep producing more oils. So at a certain point, your scalp's going to be like, I'm so dry, I need to overproduce. So that's why most people feel like they're getting greasier and greasier.
Okay.
So if you actually just kind of let your hair get a little gnarly for like, say you're not doing anything like a Saturday into a Sunday and just like let your hair get kind of gross, your scalp will actually just regulate itself out and you won't find that you have to wash your hair every day. Another tip is getting like a boar bristle brush and brushing your hair at night from roots to ends, because it's going to help distribute that like gunky oil up at your scalp all the way down your hair, so that you'll actually find more shine to the hair and you won't feel as greasy up top.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know the brush one. I know that you're not supposed to wash it every day, and I do anyway. But the brush thing is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. So if like, you know, on a Sunday that you're not doing anything into a Monday or a Saturday, or if there's a day or two that you're not really doing anything, you're just kind of sitting at home, just let your hair get kind of gross. Like just leave it be. And then at night, get a good, Kevin Murphy has a really nice boar bristle brush. So if you go to kevinmurphy.com/AU, I think it is. If you just like Google Kevin Murphy products, like a lot of things will come up. They have a bunch of hair tools, and all their products are listed on their website too. But you can't purchase them online, but it will direct you to a salon so they have a salon locator, because they're exclusively salon.
Oh, that's cool.
So just like type where you live, and then it'll send you to a salon that's like close by you, and you can get like some tools, hair products, all that good stuff from them.
Oh, that's really cool. So that's the brand that you specifically work with, correct?
I worked with them. I actually just took a step back from them, simply because I was just spreading myself too thin between working in salon, working freelance bridal work, working on photo shoots. Like it was becoming too much. Yeah. And like, I love educating. So me and another stylist at my salon, we kind of work with our assistants on like an education program for them. So I still get to educate. It's just not for a company anymore. It's just within salons. But yeah, I was just spreading myself too thin, and I hate half-assing something. So I felt like before I got to the point of like half-assing a class, I was like, you know what? I need to take a step back.
But that's pretty smart, because it's not like you don't have so many other things you're focusing on, so then you can put more of your attention into all of those things. But then when you want to come back to the educating, that door is always open.
Right. And it looks good on a resume, and which is always a good thing. So, and yeah, I left on a positive note. I sent them a really nice email, and, I was like, I want this to be like a see you later, not a goodbye. And I'm still, friendly with all of my fellow educators and that I, worked with. And so it wasn't at all by any means like a, like I always try and leave jobs on a good note if I leave
it. Yeah, this is the best way to be, right?
Right. I mean, I did rage quit a job once, but it was for a good cause.
We all have that one. I have like off camera funny hot topics, right? Of what I love. That was my one. Even though I loved Hot Topic, I still shop at Hot Topic. I love it. My specific location. That was like the one time I just had to go to this used concert.
Listen, I get it. You know, we all gotta do.
So rage quit, concert quit, same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I rage quit the kiosk. I just kind of had enough. The owners were a married couple, and the wife was insane, and oh my God, she did a whack job. I don't even care. She'll never even listen to this, so I don't even care. But she was just a nutty person, and any of my friends that are listening to this, and my friends that are in their room right now, they're probably dying themselves because they. Actually, Kelly, the girl who lives here with her boyfriend Mike, who's one of my best friends, she also worked with me at the kiosk, and she can attest that this bitch was crazy.
That's funny.
I rage quit.
I feel like there's always that one job.
Yeah, she was just nuts, and she treated me very poorly towards the end, and it was in the middle of December, which is obviously peak time for retail. And she came in, my boss, and she was like, something. She was like an hour late to her shift. And I literally was like, hey, we're at X amount of money. I restocked belly rings, slip rings, tongue rings. I cleaned these things. Here are my keys. I quit. And she was like, what? And then we ended up getting into this huge fight in the middle of the mall where security had to be called. And it was
wow. That's a story.
Yeah.
That got juicy really real quick.
Yeah. It escalated very quickly because she told me that I was a bitch. And I was like, okay.
All right, lady. That's funny. But kind of bringing them a little bit back. So you also mentioned that you don't just do like, obviously you will do any like haircuts, coloring, but you also like do like different styles, which I guess goes into the bridal work that you do.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about that? Because that's super incredible, because I feel like to do the bride, I love. Let me just start there. So to do anything with weddings, I'm like, oh my God, I'm crying. Like, I don't even know these people, but I'm crying. So I feel like you're doing their hair, makeup, both, etc., like on their wedding day. Like, how is that experience?
It's pretty awesome. I love it. I love doing weddings. I love doing even, just like simple as like they're doing their trial and kind of like getting, like, I get to see their wedding dress before most of their friends and family do, because we have to figure out how their hairstyle is going to fall with their, how their dress is and what their whole entire look is going to be, because you can't just, do hair and not know what everything else is going to be. So like, I'm the one who gets to see their dress before their friends and family, which is really intimate and really special. I get to ask them, oh my gosh, like, how did he propose? And like, I get these like really intimate conversations with this person who I've either just met, or 9 times out of 10, and it's like, I have come to the realization that every single friend of mine that's going to get married or has been married, I'm just doing their hair and or makeup for their wedding day. So, but it is, the clients that I do have that, aren't friends of mine, it is very special to be a part of that day with them, to like sit there and, when they're freaking out and they're like, oh my God, I forgot this. Like, I just did a wedding, in the beginning of September. It was my first wedding back actually from this crazy pandemic that we've been in.
I know. Because everything. But thank you for your time during this crazy time. This is like the new normal virtual.
Right. Meetings. It was super, super bizarre. We were wearing masks and this, and I was like, oh my gosh. But she was like, I forgot underwear. And I was like, how did you forget your underwear? So her mom had to like run to like the local like Walmart or something and get like underwear for her, and she's freaking out. And I'm like, it's gonna be okay, Christina. Like, it's gonna be fine.
That's
and,
cool.
Like,
you helped her.
Just being able to like talk to a bride and calm them down or make them laugh, or while I'm also making them feel beautiful, and they're getting this wonderful service. And it's super, super cool to just be there on their day and be there on these really like monumental points in their life. It's very it's like an honor, honestly. Like I'm like, and I love as well. So I'm always like, like I get so gushy when I
girl,
see this.
yes.
And,
that's so special. I feel like
yeah.
because we probably can also like, I'm sure most brides will show you inspo pictures or what they're going for.
Yeah, for sure.
But how incredible is it to take your makeup, if you're doing the makeup, to another level? So you know they're gonna have tons of photos all day. And then also like there's so many crazy bridal hairstyles. Like I don't even know how to French braid my hair. I can just do a basic ass braid. And then these brides have these updos and I'm like, how the fuck do they do these?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot of practice for sure. So when it comes to weddings, I actually do prefer to do hair over makeup. I do makeup for like bridal parties and stuff. But I do like prefer to do hair just because I like it a little bit more when I'm doing a bridal, because I feel like in a weird sense I can be a little bit more creative, which is is like you're painting someone's face, which seems to be more creative.
Yeah.
But a lot of
but I guess that makes sense, because you think bridal makeup is usually all the same tone, whereas like
a lot of
hair
a lot of brides do want a more simple look. That's not to say that there are, one of my best friends, she got married and she had a very glamorous look. It was so beautiful. And she hired a makeup artist to do it, and I did her hair, and it was just, it was beautiful. But a lot of the brides that I do work with like to keep it more simple with their makeup. And so they want to either have the focus be on their hair, or it's one or the other, right? So, they'll show me these crazy inspo pics and I'm like, I got to put my happy face on. I'm like, these are all extensions. And they're like, oh, really? And I'm like, yes. And so like, I'm back to transparency. I'm very transparent with them, and we work with it. I'm like, listen, this is what I think is going to work with your hair texture. Let's take a look at your dress. Does your dress have more of an open front? Does it have more of an open back? What kind of jewelry are you wearing? Is your dress, does it have a lot going on? Like, is it too busy? Is it going to be too busy if we do a crazy hairstyle and then a really busy dress? Like, which some brides want that very busy look. They want that glamorous look. They want, the tiara and this, which is awesome. I love doing crazy looks like that. I love doing those outrageous, just beautiful looks, but I also love a just like very simple, like classic chignon, where it's like just smoothed out and very pretty as well. So it all plays into the factor of like just the entire look itself. So that being said, and kind of connecting it to like working on photo shoots, I feel like working on a photo shoot has definitely benefited me in both areas, because I've worked with photographers. I know how things are going to photograph. So when I do makeup, I'm like, we got to go like a little bit heavier with the makeup. I know it's gonna appear a little heavier, but in your photos, if you don't, it's gonna look like you're not even wearing any makeup at all.
Yeah.
Oh no, I understand. And I'm like, okay, great. Like, and then I get to work with the photographers, and then I, real quick will ask them like, let me just like take a look on, see how the makeup is like photographing. And they're like, oh no, it looks great. I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's fun. That's like the best. I'm always on like, I'm like a model, so when I get my makeup done and my hair done for photo shoots, it's like the best day of my life.
Oh,
and
I
love
so
talking.
Great.
It's just like so exciting. I just love the feeling of people playing with my hair, and then like,
oh yeah,
I can do average basic makeup as like a woman, but like when the makeup artist really transforms your face, and they're just bringing out the features that I guess I've had always there, but like I don't know how to really like do the makeup specifically.
Right, accentuate it.
Yeah, I always want to give you guys so much respect, because makeup artists and hairstylists, like the art of just taking what you're like, you are just taking this model or your client or whoever, and you're just accentuating every aspect of them and their face and their hair, and I can't do that shit. So I always like tell them like I am nobody, like as a model, like I'm nobody without team. And so I always want to give you guys so much respect because like
you're already like beautiful, so you don't have to worry about that.
oh my
You're
God.
an easy
Well,
canvas.
thank you. But to like I'm actually not wearing any makeup right now.
So
Like it's my podcast.
I wish that's what I looked like without makeup.
Girl, I'm looking at your makeup and I'm like, holy shit, it's so you're the girl I was always jealous of. Like I always wish I looked like you. Like no joke, I swear to God.
No.
It's funny. I actually recently had another girl on the podcast. And she had like all crazy hair colors too, like teal. She's actually blonde right now, but she had teal as well and like all these different colors. And she's also like an emo girl like us. And she's also from New Jersey. So it's super
That's
weird
funny.
that like all these similarities.
These Jersey girls were coming through.
Yes, but she's like the way that like you guys look. I'm like, I wish I could be that girl with like the cool hair and like my nails perfect. I just like always was so jealous of you guys. Like I feel like I'm alternative because I have tattoos, but you actually look like the alternative girl I wish I was.
Stop it. No, I always tell them like, you can do this. You can be whatever you want. But I just like backtracking a little bit, I will say probably one of the most rewarding things about doing someone's makeup and like kind of just, I like to talk them through like what I'm doing so that they're also kind of getting a little bit of an education as well so that they can then kind of learn to do their own makeup too. Because they're like, how are you doing this? And I'm like, obviously you can't see because I'm doing it on your face. But like I'll walk you through what I'm doing and why I'm using this product and why you should always use this product and this and that. And then after I'm done with their face and then I like, I'm like, all right, look in the mirror. Cause I won't let them look in a mirror until I'm done. And then the like happiness on their face, they're like, I feel so beautiful. And I'm like, that's literally all I wanted was just for you to feel beautiful because like, to me, making somebody feel the best version of themselves is super rewarding, whether that's like they wanted some crazy smoky eye with like blue hair, or if they just want a very simple makeup look with like blonde waves in their hair, like giving them their best version of who they feel they want to be is one of the reasons why I became a hairdresser. I want people to feel the best that they can. So
I really love that because that's like so important because you think like that just shows like me who's listening or anyone else like you're not just doing it for the money. Like of course like in hair like it's a good business to be in. Everyone wants their hair done.
Pay my rent, so
yeah. But like I love when people say that because like you getting my makeup and hair done before you really can tell who is just doing it as their job and who's doing it for the passion. And just by saying that, that's like shows like, like the passion of just like, and then I think it's so empowering too as a woman, making other women feel beautiful, or even if you have men come in too, like just to make people feel their best is like what we need in the world and like bring people up by like however that is. And this is your way and your niche in the world. That's like bringing positivity to people, making them feel great about themselves. Like that is so awesome and amazing. Just like you saying that just shows like, wow, like you got into this passion and that this passion has come back to you full force for a reason.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I love my job. Like there are definitely days where I get frustrated, but like it's a job. Everybody.
Everyone has that
for sure.
Yeah.
But I genuinely love doing hair and I genuinely love doing makeup and I love learning. Like I always say like, to myself, I don't want to be surrounded by people where like, I think I'm the best. I never want to be the best. I want to surround myself with the best so that I'm continuing to learn. I never want to be like the top tier because I feel like sometimes at that top tier, people kind of get a little bit of a ego and sometimes like just for a quick example, like I've taken education classes, right, where like I go in and I'm like, yes, I'm ready to like learn something cool on a Monday, like I'm taking time out of my day off to come and like learn this, and then all they do is like name drop that they've done this fashion week and I've been to Europe and I've done this, and I'm like, I came here to like learn a haircut, not I'm confused by this situation right now, and there's
probably a lot of people like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's just the beauty industry, honestly. That's how it is. But I always like to surround myself with people who are better than me so that I can always continue to learn from them and they can continue to learn from me and vice, just continuous like education and like just learning how to like, you know, even like I said, like just going even back to your basics of a good consultation and making sure that like you and your client are on the same page, and then they walk out feeling so much better and they're like, oh, this is what I needed. Like I had such a shitty week and like now I feel so much better about myself. And I'm like, I'm so glad that I could do that for you.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And
the
I feel
power
like,
of beauty on the outside really does like affect your inner beauty. And I know that's like, I don't know if it's like cliche or whatever, or vain if you may, but like really, I mean, if you feel good on the outside, you feel good on the inside, and vice versa. They kind of both go hand in hand. So if even it's just like putting a little mascara on makes you feel like 10 times better, then that's great. You know what I mean? Then do that.
So. Yeah, and I think that's really important too, because it's like a bad haircut or like a bad makeup job, you're going to remember, you're going to walk out feeling like shit. Oh, yes. So like a really good makeup job and a really good haircut, you walk out feeling like $100. You're like, oh, like $1,000,000, $100, I guess, not that bad. But I also
pretty good.
Yeah. But I also really, really want to bring attention to, because you've mentioned it a lot and I think it's really respectable, and I haven't really heard, I'm sure people do it, but I haven't really heard like too many people put emphasis on it. The fact that you're continuing to always educate yourself, like of course everyone always wants to grow. And that fact that you like surround yourself by a good community of people that like help you grow is like so awesome. I just really love the fact that you go out of your way to like educate the client, educate who you're working with, or go out of your way to get an education. Yeah. I think that's super important, because in this ever-changing world we're in, and now with like social media platforms, I feel like that will definitely give you a leg up. Do you feel that with like Instagram being really popular and reaching all different aspects of demographics or different states, etc., that it has really helped your branding of what you do?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've gotten some clients from Instagram, but I also, you know, I tried like just to kind of talk a little bit, I guess, about social media. Like, I feel like I'm sort of in Jurassic Park, but not really. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's fun, little background.
I'm like, hello. I've had my Instagram since like Instagram started, and I tried to transition to making my own like hair page versus just like having like a personal, and you know what I mean? Like, but then I ended up just like, I have so many, I only have like over 1,000 followers, so it's really not that many, but like
that's a lot. That's a good core of people that
on my like personal page. And I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna like keep it like hair and like a little bit of my personality as well, because I feel like you know, showing that I'm who I am, and also showing my work, and showing that I do continuing education and do all of these things, it brings the client that will like wander onto my Instagram page and be like, all right, this girl does some pretty good hair, but she also likes cats, and I like cats too.
Yeah, so that's what's really cool. I think that's a good thing that you said, putting a little bit of yourself in the mix of your social media. I think that's the new thing, right? People want to attract to authenticity. So here's your authentic Instagram, like you're a cat lover, you go to a Renaissance fair and you're like, this is so fun, this is who I am. I think that's so incredible. Like I go to someone's Instagram, that's what I look for. I see like, okay, she does really cool hair, like you said, her makeup's on fire, but like, who is this person? And I'm like, oh dude, she's got tattoos, she's rad as hell, she likes the same music I listen to. Like that for me, I'm like, okay, that's who I'm going to. Like I connect with that person.
Right.
So I think that's so rad that you aren't afraid to put yourself out there in that way, which I'm sure is a little scary, because you know, there's haters everywhere, social media can be mean sometimes. And then I don't know about you, but kind of going back to what you had mentioned earlier, how you're in the beginning, your mom was a little like disappointed with you. How has that changed now in this new age of your life, and now you're doing it, you made it a career, like you've overcome a lot of adversity?
My mom thinks I'm the coolest.
That's awesome. I love that.
My mom has totally changed her tune. Mom, she's gonna watch like the first 5 minutes and be like, that bitch. No, Mom, you're listening now. No, my mom actually is super duper supportive, and she thinks that like what I do is like like, she's so proud of me. She's like, you've come so far. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I remember my first, like, even when I got my own chair as a stylist, she was super excited. And then, you know, just like when I became an educator, she was so excited and so supportive of me. And then when I worked on my first, you know, started doing my like weddings and stuff, she was like, oh my God, that's, you know, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, my daughter's doing all these cool things. And I think the most like monumental thing my mom was really proud of was the very first photo shoot that I worked on, which I actually, so I took a photo shoot class because I wanted to start going into that direction of like, just, I've always wanted to explore all career paths within my career, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I took a photo shoot class, and this hairdresser, his name is David Cruz. Shout out David.
Shout out.
Love him. He's the best. He taught the class, and I had not been like I was the most inspired I've ever been. I was like, this is amazing. Cool. Like, I want to do this. Like, this is awesome. So I like pretty much harassed him for a little bit. I contacted his agent and I was like, let me assist you. And then he contacted me and was like, hey, I'm doing a photo shoot for Target. And I was like, you mean like the store?
Oh my God. Like, I fucking love Target.
Yeah, who doesn't? And
right?
Like, yeah, the store. And I was like, oh my God. He's like, do you want to assist me? And I was like, yes. And so I went into the city. I like brought all of this stuff with me because I had no idea like what to bring. So I had like 4 bags of like hair stuff and like, you know, way too much stuff, by the way. Look, anybody, if you're wanting to assist on a photo shoot, talk to the hairdresser that you're assisting and ask him what you need to bring. Don't bring all your tools because then it's too much stuff. But so I worked on this campaign for Target, and I, you know, assisted him and, you know, styled some of the girls' hair, and he obviously was the lead hairdresser, so he did the majority of the work. But that was such a cool experience for me. And then when I went to Target and I saw the campaign in Target, and I was like, Mom, I helped do that girl's hair.
That's so cool. That's super dope.
My daughter does hair for Target, and I was like, well, I just assist, so like I'm not the lead. She's like, no, my daughter does hair for Target. So it's
I love
cool.
that. That's super awesome.
So my mom and like, you know, my family in general is super proud of me and where I've come, and all my friends are too, because I was kind of I thought I was doomed to be a mall rat forever and work in the mall. And then, you know, all my friends are like, yeah,
that's so awesome. And I'm sure that's like so cool for them to see how far you've come, especially like, you know, not really knowing what path you were going to go on. Now that you like are established and you've done campaigns and photo shoots and bridals and do hair and makeup, you're in a salon, like you like the dream, right? Like that's like what everyone wants.
It's honestly kind of surreal sometimes where I'm like, fuck, like what? I mean, like, this is crazy. And, you know, within the last year or so, I actually, David, the guy who I was assisting for about 2 to 3 years, I think we met I started assisting in 2017. So yeah, we're going on like 3 years. He last year was like, hey kid, like I have this photo shoot for you to do. And I just thought it was another, like I was assisting him, and he was like, no, like you're the lead hairdresser. And I was like, huh? And he was like, I've worked with this photographer. He's really great. He's in Jersey City, which isn't far from me. And it was the first time that I was like the lead hairdresser. It wasn't for any type of campaign. It was just for like what we call like a test shoot. So it's really just for like the models to get more, you know, something new for their portfolio, us to have a portfolio. It's really just like portfolio work. But
it's still like super awesome. You're the lead.
Yeah, I was the lead hairdresser. And then I got along with the photographer really well. His name is Kyle. He's
shout out.
Hey Kyle. He's fantastic. He's so fun to work with. And then he started hitting me up to do hair and makeup for him. And like, now it's like, wow, I am working on stuff on my own. And I did my very first editorial with him, and it was like an online magazine, and my name was like there. And I was
my God, you'll have to send us a photo so I can pop it into this video.
Yeah, I will. It was like Stevie Nicks inspired. It was like a whole article about
Oh,
Stevie
that's
Nicks.
super dope.
Yeah, so the whole looks were based on like Stevie Nicks
What
looks. So
she
it was
has
really,
done.
really fun to do. Like big hair, the top hat, like it was so fun to do. And I mean, that to me was like I was like, oh my God, this is so sick. And then I got to work with Drew Barrymore's her company, which is like she has a cosmetic company, and I got
Oh,
to meet
wow.
Drew Barrymore, and I was like,
That's super dope.
yeah.
Congrats.
So, I mean,
That's so
thank you.
awesome.
So it was super surreal, and now I feel like I'm that guy who's just name dropping. So I'm gonna stop.
No, but like that's important. I mean, because I led you to that too, right? Like I asked, like you've come all this way. Like that just shows all your growth. Like from assisting to being a lead to then working with these incredible companies. Like, dude, that's so freaking rad. I think it's so important to talk about the journey of where we come from. Totally. Because people will see you and they're like, oh, she's a cool girl that does hair and makeup. But then when you really listen, you're like, oh shit, she didn't just like make it. Like she went through all of these trials and tribulations to get there. And it's like, it for me, it just is so heartwarming when I talk to people that like achieve that dream or like get to the place they are now. It's like this incredible journey. And I think it's just so incredible for you to share it. I think is there any time, I mean, I can only speak from my personal experience. So I have been through like really hard times in my life, and not telling you to like, you don't, you know, whatever you're comfortable saying, but just for me personally, when like where I've gotten to now, I kind of think back sometimes if I ever have like a dark moment or anxiety, I just kind of like have to bring myself to a moment that's like, oh shit, like I've come all this way, like I can get over this next hump. Do you ever have moments like that?
Sure. Like, so I've dealt with anxiety and like depression, and it runs in, you know, my family. My dad is bipolar, and, you know, so it I think for me, like my anxiety and panic disorder like peaked when I was like 26, and it was a very dark period of time for a couple of years. And you know, I ended up in like outpatient services, and I had to go through, you know, all different types of doctors to figure out what kind of like, you know, path I could get on to like get better. And it was a struggle every day to go to work. It was a struggle just to like drive a car. It was a struggle just to like, you know, do day-to-day tasks. And I, you know, I've come so far from that. But when I have these moments where I'm like, oh, I'm really nervous to go do this bride or do this, I'm like, Carolyn, you literally were in the trenches for like a solid year and a half of like not being able to function as a human being. And you still got up and went to work every day. You still did those photo shoots. You still did those weddings. Like, you can handle this, like get over it. Like, so there definitely is those dark periods that I kind of now reflect on, and I'm like, okay, you got through that, like you can handle this, like it's gonna be fine. So when I still have really dark periods of time, and like, you know, we all have our ups and downs, but it's just kind of how you handle it. And there's days where I don't want to get off the couch and I just want to like wrap myself in a blanket, Netflix and chill. Yeah, literally just like eat all the food and like maybe cry, maybe laugh, like snuggle with my cats and like listen to like, I don't know, a video game soundtrack while like just crying at the same time. Like,
and that's really cool. I feel like sometimes like I love those days where I do that, because I feel like sometimes I just have to let myself go through it, you know, like I just need to cry today, and like the next hour I'll be fine.
Yeah, like I just need to cry right now and then I'll be fine. Like, and then it's always over something so dumb. Like you're scrolling through Instagram and you see like a video of like a cat that was just born, and you're like
oh, my heart.
And then it just like leads into this like 20-minute crying episode, and you're like, why am I crying?
Right. But then you feel like so like therapeutic at the end. It's very cathartic. I'm really like, thank you for sharing a part of you, because I wonder now, because of the artistic part of you, I this is just theory, I have no scientific backing of this, but I feel like people with anxiety, they overcome it with some creative art, or like they learn how to, like, I guess you'll never not have it, but you manage it with your creative art. So do you feel like because of the passion and career that you're on now, that it has really helped you if you feel anxiety, or it's really like helped you get over it, or like in a sense, like manage it better because you have this outlet to go to?
I guess like yes and no. So the way that like I kind of view my anxiety, and it's actually really funny, is because like everybody that I meet and they don't know about my severe, like I really do have like severe panic disorder, and a lot of people I meet, they're like, wait, you? And I'm
I
like,
was say you like don't
yeah,
you would
they're
never
like, you
seem.
seem so fine and so great. I'm like, I'm really good at hiding it. Like, I'm having a panic attack right now. No, not right now, but like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm internally
Yeah.
like dying, and like you would never know.
Hmm.
So I have come to look at my anxiety as like, you know, like you're a part of my life and you're here, but like, I'm just gonna like, you're not my friend right now, and you're like really interrupting me doing hair, and you're really interrupting me doing this. So like, if you could just like back off for a second and like let me be creative, and then I kind of go from there, if that makes any
Okay.
sense. Or like
Yeah, yeah,
I
for
kind of
sure.
will like take it as it's like, I'm getting anxious or I'm getting panicky. I can feel it coming when I'm like, doing hair or doing makeup or doing something involving my like creative work, and I start to like freak out. I'm like, right, Carolyn, you've been through this like 100 times. Like, I always say, like, let your anxiety in for like a solid 5 minutes. Like, let it come, like, let it exist, and then just like kick it out, because you have to acknowledge that it's there, and then just like tell it to like hit the road for a bit. Like, and you can come
Yeah,
back
that's
later,
super
maybe.
empowering to think of it in that way, like where
Right.
you control it, it's not controlling you.
Exactly. And that was a hard thing for me to come to terms with, because I felt for so long that it was just like who I am. Like, I'm just Carolyn. I have panic attacks and I can't go out anymore. And like, now it's like, no, I'm Carolyn. I have panic attacks, but like they're there. And if I choose to let them like consume me, then they'll consume me. But like I choose to not. And I mean, the reality is they still happen, and it still comes and goes, and they're still, whatever. But I have a really good support system to help me with it. And, my neighbors are currently my great support system. They're fantastic. I love them. So
That's
it all works
awesome.
out. They literally live one building next to me, so I stalk them
Oh,
all.
nice. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's like
Yeah.
awesome that it has all like worked out in that way for you.
Yeah, for sure. No. And so like, but yeah, that's, just kind of going back to it. I mean, like I'm like, all right, come in for 5 minutes and then you're going to leave. And then I'm going to continue on with my day. Or like, if it's really bad, I kind of just look at it like, okay, let's just like be aware that I'm having anxiety, and then like an hour later check in with myself and see how I'm feeling. And then that hour comes and goes, and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling fine. Or I'm still not feeling fine. Let me just, get through it, check in with myself again in another hour. And then I'm like, okay, it's gone. You know what I mean? So it's like being
Yeah.
self-aware but not letting it take over.
Yeah, like having that checks and balances almost of it.
Right. Because I mean, you can't like be a train wreck all the time and like accomplish anything, unfortunately. And
Yeah.
like everybody has their different coping mechanisms. And that's just something that's worked for me. And, everybody, like I said, everyone has something different,
Yeah.
and, all of my coworkers are really great. They know that I have all these issues, and they're very cool about it. Like, there was one time I had a really bad panic attack, and I had to like literally stop blow drying hair, and when my stylist Jessie was like, do you need me to go over there and like finish blow drying her hair for you? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, all right, just like take a minute, and like I'll like I'll handle the situation. So
Yeah.
like,
Oh, that's super cool. Like everyone really does have each other's backs.
yeah, I mean, like, working in a salon can be very dramatic. But like, 13, 14 women, and
Mhm.
then, Sean, who is like, he's gay, but he's the best and I love him. But like, put us all like in a room together and just like see what happens. It's like, sometimes it can explode. But also at the
That's
same time,
cool.
we love each
Yeah.
other so much, and we have each other's back, and we're there through everything. And like, I probably spend more time with them than I do my family, so they're like
Yeah.
my second set of like family.
That's cool to have that community of people like that are like-minded. You're all at that salon for a reason, but then you all
Right.
have your own backgrounds that everyone like acknowledges and they're okay with, and they like know they're gonna be there for you. Like that's super rad, and like what a good environment to be in.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's nice. I mean, we all have our days, of course, like I said, where I'm like, nah, I don't want to be here, I'm feeling crazy, but then you just kind of make it through the day, and then that's it. And it's
Yeah.
like always the feeling of like, okay, it's just like a day, and I can go home and I can just like sit on my couch and be fine after this. It's gonna be fine. Like, I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah. And that's super important to acknowledge. And I really like praise you for that. Like I feel like I love when people aren't afraid to like share those parts of themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like, I talk about it with my clients. You gotta like gauge your clients and be like,
Yeah.
can I curse in front of this client? Can I talk about this in front of this client? Whatever. But like all of my clients, I've had them for like 5 or so more years. You know what I mean? So like it's on a personal level. Like I know their kids. I know what goes on in their house. They know what's happening in my life. So
I feel like that would be so rewarding to have such a good like relationships with your clients like that.
No, it totally is. It's super cool. Like, I have a client, she comes in every single Saturday. I mean, well, with the pandemic, everything's been a little bit crazy. We were out of work for like 3 months, but prior to the pandemic, she would come in every single Saturday for a wash and blowout. And she didn't wash her hair on her, like, I was literally the only person that washed her hair, dried it, like cut it, anything. And like every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. And like, she would tell me about her grandkids, and she tells me about her daughter and her son, and I literally know everything about her family. Like,
oh, that's so precious though. Like I used to love that even in retail when like people remembered you or like they knew you or like I think that's just so awesome.
That came in.
Yeah, like I think it's super awesome about like having that human connection.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's rewarding and it's really cool, and it's really fascinating too to just like, not always talk about myself. I like to hear other people's stories. I'm like, so tell me about yourself. What do you do? What are you? Who are you? This, that. Like, I like to, I don't know, I just like to know information about people. Not like
I love that.
Gossipy weird way, but like I just like to know.
Yeah, no,
like,
I get what you're saying.
Like stories. I'm like, wow, you're a brain doctor. I might need to hit you up sometime. No.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, you're asking me questions. I love to ask my clients questions. I love to know, like, I just like to know more.
Yeah. I love it. And I love too that you would want to come on, and like I just think it's so cool to talk to people of all walks of life that are just so interesting. And like when Danielle referred you, I looked at your profile and like, dude, this girl looks so dope. And then when we got talking and you shared so many things about yourself that it was like, oh, like this person has depth. They like really have grown in their life. And I think it's super inspiring to hear these stories. And like if I have a platform, I want to like praise those voices because I think it's super awesome just to like talk to everybody and learn. Because I feel like I talk to you and I've learned so much. Like I learned from talking to other people, and I think it's really incredible. And I want to thank you for coming on.
I mean, thank you for having me. This is like the coolest thing ever. Like,
oh my gosh, of course. And then before we end, I do want to ask, is there any advice for anyone listening, watching on any of the things you've talked about or in general, or if there's anything else you'd like to touch on?
I mean, God, I could probably talk for like hours, which is like a downfall.
I know, I could talk for hours too.
Sometimes
which is what I'm gonna ask you at the end.
I have to like tell myself, like in my brain, I'm like, Carolyn, just shut up.
No, it's good. I love when people talk. Like talk all you want.
I mean, I guess like just the last couple of, just like things like, if you feel in your job or anything that like you're super unhappy, I've seen so many people be miserable with their life choices and jobs and whatever the case may be, relationships, like you don't have to stay. You don't have to suffer. There's no need to be at a job that you hate. There's no need to be in a friendship that makes you feel like shit. There's no need to like be in an environment that sucks. Like it's your own life and you have like the power to change it. So that's something that I think is really important. And I think it's something that people forget a lot. They get into these like routines that just feel comfortable. And me, especially, like I said, creature of habit, like it's really hard for me to break out of my routine, but like there's been lots of times, especially recently, where I've had to, and you know, it's been for the good. So I don't want people to ever think that like they're stuck in a rut. And if like, you know, you're dealing with like anxiety, depression, bipolar, you know, whatever the case is, like, I don't think you should be embarrassed to talk about it. I think that you shouldn't be embarrassed that you have to take medication. You shouldn't be embarrassed that you need to go to therapy. Like, and then one more thing is like, do what you want to do, man. Like, don't live life like unhappy. If you want to go eat a piece of cake, go eat a piece of cake. If you want to go do hair, go do hair. If you want to like, I don't fucking know, do cartwheels and roll around in dirt, if that's what makes you happy, just fucking do it. Like, just fucking be happy. There's no, like, being sad all the time sucks. And like, of course there is moments, but like, find a way to be happy. Like, you know, the other day I was sad and I was like, I'm just gonna go to the Halloween store because I want to buy spooky things. And I did, and I felt better.
Oh my God, like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I do the same simple things. Yeah, I mean, like, if, I don't know, like going and doing something really dumb is like just taking a drive and listening to music. If that makes you happy, just go do it. And just fuck it, you know?
Buy your pumpkin spice latte.
Which, like, real quick, like, low-key, not
Are you not a pumpkin spice
fan?
My heart.
Cancel the podcast. Cancel the episode.
I figure
I'm more of a caramel person. So.
Okay. I can get down with that, too.
Yeah.
It's just, like you said, spooky season, my mind goes, like, automatically pumpkin spice latte.
Maybe most people do. Me, is just like, what can I buy that's like weird and creepy and put it in my apartment and make people question my life decisions.
See, I'm like the basic, like, I'm like the literally basic white girl, like pumpkin spice, yoga pants, and Uggs. Like, that's totally me. But then I feel like I'm
fine though. See, that's what I mean. That's fine.
I embraced it.
Embrace who you are. I am the weirdest person ever. Like, I believe that dragons existed in real life. I think that, like, you know, like, I have like a collection of swords because I just fucking love the Renaissance period. I like video
That's cool.
games.
That's
Like,
super dope.
I like metal music, yet I also fucking love Billie Eilish. Like, go fucking figure. Like, so there are so many things. Like, I mean, just do what you think is happy. Like, just, you know, even little things. Like last year, you know, because music has been such a big part of my life and I played music for so long and I was missing that. And so I was like, I'm going to fucking take piano lessons. So I started taking piano lessons.
Dope.
And like, it's
just, keep us
like,
updated on your piano.
I will. But it's just something like that I wanted to do that made me happy. I was like, fuck it, I just want to do it. It makes me happy. I want to do it. What the fuck? Why the fuck am I not going to take a piano lesson and learn something that I like to do? So
I love that. I love that about you. I feel like I'm already like spiritually connected to you. Like,
we're like Zoom connected.
Yes. I feel like I for sure, because obviously I love my tattoos. I do a tattoo segment as well. I obviously see your sleeves and your palm, which was super rad. So I have to ask, will you come back for a tattoo story segment?
Absolutely.
Yay!
Sure. Yeah.
Guys, so leave your comments on YouTube, Spotify, whatever. We'll bring Carolyn back and we'll talk to her more. We'll get in depth of tattoos. You can tell right now on her Zoom, she has a ton. So this would be super exciting. I love it. And thank you again so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's super inspiring. For having me.
This has been so fun.
Yeah, super fun. We'll totally have to go and do it again. But for now, guys, stay tuned for the next episode with Carolyn. Bye.
Bye.